I was super excited for the return of Fear the Walking Dead this week, and some interesting stuff happened. I think some even more interesting stuff is going to happen in the remaining few episodes. So let's just get right into this episode. So things are getting more and more crazy in LA, especially I think they're in the downtown LA area where Travis and his family are hiding out. Things are getting really, really crazy there. Like tons of zombies, tons of people being eaten, and then there's just like the random looters and people who just want to set things on fire that always seems to happen when a city is in chaos. So anyway, it's really no longer safe to be there because that barbershop area, it's getting ready to go up in flames. So Travis and that other family, all those people decide they're going to have to get out of there, and hopefully they can get back to Madison's house. But unfortunately, one of the women in the group gets stabbed like down by her ankle before they can leave, and this is probably going to end up being an issue because like there are no hospitals anymore. So if there are, like, they can't really get to them. There's probably not going to be anyone to help her, and that's just not good because it's going to get like infected and stuff, and well, you know how that goes. So back at Madison's house, a really pretty German Shepherd shows up, and he has some blood on him that doesn't belong to him. And spoiler alert, things are not going to end up well for this dog. And that makes me sad because I love dogs. And the scene that happens in a little bit is just, it's just way too much for me. What did you think about that? Thumbs up if you were like, gross. So, more and more of Madison's neighbors are turning into zombies. They look out the window and they see zombie people, and we know that is not good, especially their neighbor Susan, who seemed like she was probably like a super nice woman, but she's totally zombified now, and we also know that it's not probably going to turn out well for her either. So Madison and the kids, they want to go and check on Teresa because they really haven't caught on yet. Or not Teresa. What is her name? Susan. Yeah, they want to go check on Susan because they really haven't caught on that you don't really get near the zombies. Like, that's not good for you. So they go over to her house to check on her. But while they're away, someone, and by someone I mean a ravenous zombie, breaks into their home where they left that beautiful German Shepherd, and that German Shepherd has become this man's dinner. And they kind of show some of that, and it's literally absolutely disgusting. But thankfully around this same time, Travis and then that other family, they all arrive at Madison's house. But then Travis is like face to face with this zombie man who actually used to be or was or is, I guess, their neighbor. And Travis thinks that this man is just sick. Yeah, he's like really, 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 really sick, and he's not going to get any better. So Daniel, who is part of that other family that owned the barbershop like downtown, he has to intervene, and thankfully he seems to be one of the people here who knows what's up and is actually being really smart because he has to shoot that zombie neighbor in the head, thankfully, because he was totally about to bite Travis, and that would have ended up awful, as you all know. So, you know, it's surprising to me that this Daniel guy is the smart one here because he knows that things are not going to get better. He actually knows that when you kill a zombie, like, you should probably, you know, like burn their body or get rid of them so that the stuff doesn't spread. But everyone else is like, oh no, you know, it's just a thing. All this is going to clear up, and, you know, the National Guard's going to take care of this, and we'll all go back to normal like in a week or so. Yeah, whatever. So Madison has a long conversation with her boyfriend's ex-wife, and that ex-wife is also on Orange is the New Black, and I love seeing her on something else. Thumbs up if you've seen her on Orange is the New Black. But anyway, I'm kind of wondering if they are foreshadowing something here, because basically Madison tells this woman if she ever ends up like Susan, aka a ravenous zombie, that she wants the boyfriend's ex-wife to be the one to like put her out of her misery so that Travis doesn't have to do it. So what do you guys think? Do you think that is kind of telling us that Madison's going to end up being a zombie? Thumbs up if you think so. So Travis, Madison, and her kids decide they need to get the heck out of here because things are just not going well. So they load up in their cars and they try to leave, but just about that time they see Susan's husband coming home. He's also pretty oblivious here, and he doesn't realize that people are, well, zombies. And so he sees his wife and he doesn't understand what's going on with her, even though she looks like a totally different person and is acting totally crazy. He goes up to hug her. And this was actually a really sad scene because just about this time the National Guard shows up and they actually shoot her in the head and kill her, I guess, for a second time, while she is in his arms, and it's really sad. And then they take him away because they feel like he's infected because her blood is all over him. So I don't know what's going to happen to him, but it's probably not going to be good either. And I don't know now if Travis and Madison and the kids are going to end up getting away, but they feel like everything's fine. They're like, oh my gosh, look, the National Guard is here. We're all going to live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. Right, so they're kind of living in a fantasy world, except for Daniel, who's trying to tell his family, like his wife and stuff, that it's not going to get better. Like, it's just not. Things are probably going to get worse. And we all know that they do, because if you've seen The Walking Dead, you just know how bad it really is. So, some of my thoughts on this episode, honestly, there were parts where I felt just really dragged and I, was not interested in. And I know that every episode can't be like nonstop action, but we have to remember here that this is an extremely short season, and I kind of expected a little more from this episode and not any more of the long drawn out scenes. I mean, there were scenes of, Madison's family playing Monopoly and some conversation scenes that I felt just went on way, way, way too long. I love the ending. I thought there was tons of action there. I love the stuff, even though it was gruesome, with the dog and the stuff with Susan, but I wanted to see like more action. But I know from the little bits and pieces I've seen of The Walking Dead that sometimes you have slow moments or a slower episode, so I think this is kind of going along those same lines. So what did you think about this episode of Fear the Walking Dead? We just have a couple of episodes left, but I would love to hear what you think. And do you think that Madison's going to end up turning into a zombie and then her boyfriend's ex-wife is going to kill her? What do you think about that? That's what I think. I feel like they were throwing a major clue out there for us, and I think that's totally going to happen. But what were your thoughts in general, and what do you expect for the rest of the season? Again, thank you so much for watching this episode of Kellie TV. If you like this review, give it a big thumbs up because I would really appreciate that, and I will see you next time.